Okay guys, welcome to another They Did What. This week I'm looking at Taskset, the bug stops here. The Taskset, they were formed in the early 80s and they primarily made software for the C64. I don't know why they didn't look at the Spectrum or other computers, but it was mainly the C64. Now their little icon was a little aeroplane, which was quite distinctive. Now the background to Taskset, apparently it was started up by a guy called Andy Walker, and him and a few of his colleagues that he brought on board to form Taskset, they actually, their experience, their background experience was actually in the arcade industry. They actually produced some arcade games. Now when you start seeing some of the games that they put together, you can see why they had their background in arcade, because they're very, very arcade-like, you know, just with presentation and sort of bright, vibrant colours. So anyway, I'll shut up and you can just watch the last couple of minutes of some nice artwork. Right, kick things off, this is Bozo's Night Out. Now the idea of this game apparently is you have to try and get home from the pub in one piece. You play the part of a drunk and yeah, it looks like you're the last person to leave the pub, and you've got to try and navigate your way along the street and get home. It looks like I've just had a kicking from some skinhead. That was a quick game. Is that a Space Invaders machine, or is that a fag machine? Who knows? Right, so you've got to try and navigate your way. You can see it's night time, but it seems to be quite heavily populated up, so I'll take a shortcut through the park. And it looks like there's some kind of ghouls and ghosts and what have you in the park. Pressing the fire button doesn't appear to do anything, so I have no idea. It seems just to be up, down, left and right. I guess I need to try and avoid that. Now I've got no idea what under where it says player 1. I have no idea what these are supposed to be, what that represents. Don't know. There's a Lily the Pink remix. Now you notice there the floor or the drain covers disappear now and again, so you need to try and avoid falling. Oh, is that woman got no clothes on? Bloody hell. Yep, so you've got policeman, you've got woman of the night, or maybe this woman going home from the pub as well, and you've also got a skinhead. Right, that appears to be me safely home. Right, I seem to be getting more, whatever it is at the top of these pints of beer. Don't know what that is. Right, on to the next night, and it looks to be more of the same. The one sort of distinguishing feature about Taskset games was the sort of jolly music. There's that naked woman again. Yeah, all the games had quite catchy soundtracks. And the funny thing is, there's nothing worse than playing a game and the music just repeats itself over and over again. It can be so annoying, and this game's kind of like that. But it changes. It doesn't play the music for very long, so you're getting sort of different tunes, and I think it actually adds something to it. So anyway, that's me home again. Oh, you gain 5 pints of beer, so right, that seems to be it. Looks like it's more of the same. Right, next one, this is CAD-CAM Warrior. Now I bought this back in the day. It was quite a pricey game, it was £9.99. Now that was in the mid 80s, that's when games were about £7. So I do remember this game being more expensive than other games. It came in a sort of an ultimate style cardboard box. Quite nice presentation. Just wish I'd kept all these games. I mean, I gave half my stuff away. Anyway, right, the idea of this game is you play the part of a robot. Now I think you're walking about on a sort of a computer board, and you've basically got to try and eradicate the bugs by shooting them. Now you've got the top side of the board and the bottom side. Now to get to the bottom side you walk through the hole, then you appear underneath. It takes a wee bit getting used to initially to try and kind of get your head round the perspective side, but what you do is you shoot the baddies, and once you've killed all the baddies in a level, hopefully I'm going to do it, yep, you can then pick what phase you go into. I'm not quite sure. I'm sure this game had something ridiculous like 1,000 levels. I mean, it's all very, very similar looking. You know, the baddies changed slightly, but I always quite liked the game. A lot of people didn't like this game. They thought it was overrated. They thought it was boring. Some people may find that, but I actually quite liked it. I mean, you need to avoid the flames of fire, whatever that is. So that is basically the game. You walk about, you just shoot baddies. Once you've killed the last baddie in a level, it takes you onto the sort of the level select thing, and then it's more of the same. But I quite like the sort of the exploration side of it. You can see that at the bottom I've only completed 1% of the game, so I'm not quite sure how that works. Moving up and down, don't know. What's that? A T? Is that a letter you get to pick up? I'm not too sure. Anyway, that was CAD-CAM Warrior. Right, this is Cosmic Causeway. Now I believe this was Taskset's first ever game, and you can tell it was an early game. This is the first time I've actually played the game. You know, I remember seeing adverts for it, but I never bought it, and I never ever got to see anybody else that actually had the game. Now it looks like, right, I'm controlling the 3 spaceship things at the top, and at the bottom you've got a sort of a kind of defender type scanner. I'm not quite sure what the idea is. What was that? Did I shoot them? Got him, right, okay, it appears you've got to try and shoot the baddies. Ah, bollocks, I just ran right into that. Okay, now there's 2 of us. Right, so it looks like you actually start with all 3 lives at the same time, which is a bit silly because if you look at the size of the graphics, they're absolutely colossal, and there's virtually no room to navigate. I don't know why they decided to make the game, like, the graphics is big. They could have made them a fraction of the size and made this a bit more playable. Quite a nice sound, which is quite a distinctive thing of all the Taskset games. Right, you can't appear to go right along the left, you get to a dead end. So I've got no idea of what I'm actually trying to do here, other than guessing that you kill the baddies. I'm certainly getting points when I'm shooting them, but I don't know what these... Oh, wait a minute, are these baddies... Ah, right, I think you are actually Cosmic... I think you're actually trying to protect the ships, your ships that move from left to right. And these, obviously, green spaceships are obviously trying to shoot them. Right, so I think that's what it is. You're trying to accompany get the ships from left to right, get them across safely. So yeah, it's you can tell it's an early game. That's Cosmic Causeway. Right, this is Gyropod. Again, these are all these games we're looking at here. They're all on the C64. For whatever reason, they didn't make any games. I couldn't find any games on the Spectrum. Nothing on Amstrad. I mean, Amstrad was kind of... I think Taskset had actually disappeared by that point, by the time Amstrad kind of came. But no, nothing at all for the Spectrum. What's interesting about Taskset is as quickly as they appeared, they only had a very small catalogue of games. You know, I feature them all in this video. There's very few. Then they just seem to completely disappear. No idea why. I guess like a lot of software houses, as games started to get more complicated and companies expanded, the smaller companies just couldn't compete, so I've really no idea about the background. But anyway, back on topic, Gyropod. Now you control this little ship that circulates the perimeter of this, what I'm guessing is some kind of space station thing, and you've just got to shoot all the flying saucers that are coming towards you. It kind of feels a bit like Gyrus. Though the graphics probably aren't quite as good. I remember seeing I never played this game back in the day, but I always thought, I can remember seeing a screenshot of this game and I always thought that the spaceship thing that you're on, the sort of shading was really nice. That's Gyropod. Right, now this game bucks the trend. This is called Dig Dug. Now you can probably tell why it's called Dig Dug. This is actually on the Auric. Now this is the very first game I've ever featured in a They Did What, just because there's so few games came out for the Auric. It's quite bizarre that they decided this, it's bizarre that they decided to release every game in the C64 apart from one game which appeared in the Auric. Why not the Spectrum? But that just goes to show just how early a computer company they were, because the Auric, it was all washed up by the sort of mid-80s, probably 83, 84. So you can tell here I'm having to use the keys. I'm controlling the part of the dog. I've got to try and collect the bones, and I'm guessing I'm trying to run away from the bats which are going to try and devour me. Oh bollocks, oh, he just disappeared. And it's all very pedestrian. Oh, did I just get on the next level? I think I may have. Now this could quite easily be a Spectrum game, it really could. I've never really had any, never played an Auric back in the day, never seen an Auric. I mean, I've seen it, but not actually running any software. Get the last bone. Ah, bollocks. I guess they're killing me. Not quite sure. Okay. There seems to be a lot of slowdown in this game. If you didn't know differently, you think it was written in BASIC. Oh, that bone's flashing. What does that mean? Is that going to give me superpowers or something? Oh, it looks like I'm going a bit quicker now. Well, until it started to slow up again. They must be bloody big rats. Anyway, that was Dig Dug. Right, this game, Taskset, this is Jammin'. Now this is quite a funky game, quite an original game. You play the part of, I can't remember what the name, is it something Rodney? You play the part of the little black character with the, not the afro, with the dreadlocks, I'm guessing. Now the idea is you've got to try and collect instruments and take them to the little triangle in the centre of the screen. Now it kind of feels a bit like Ludo. You can only move from one colour onto the same colour. So I'm on blue, so I can only move on a blue circle. But what you can do, you'll notice there's some, well, there's diamonds which flash all four colours. You can, when you're on one of these, you can move on to any colour you want. So if I pick up that, I've now got to try and take it. You can see the triangle flashing in the centre of the screen just to the left. So what I need to try and do is navigate, get onto a blue. Now I'm on a yellow one, so I've got to go into a yellow one, but now what I need to do is go into a multicoloured one, which will then let me go into a blue one, because you can't go from yellow to blue, you can only go into the same colour. So because I'm on a yellow, I need to go into a yellow one, and then what I now need to do is move on to the multicoloured one like so. Now I can go into the blue one, hopefully, and then wait for it to come down there, and drop the instrument. Now that's one instrument in its place, there's another 3 you've got to do, 3 per level. Now it looks shit, the music's quite good. Actually the more instruments you pick up, the music kind of gets that bit better as well. So it's a really good fun game. It takes a wee while to kind of get your head around exactly how it works, but I bought this and I loved it. I used to play it quite a lot. It's very much playability over graphics. So what I now need to try and do is, you can see the red triangle flash in the centre screen. So what I now need to try and do is try and get across to the right hand side of the screen and then get on a red circle, so I can then move into that little red area and deposit the instrument. Ah, that bloody thing's nicked the instrument, I forgot about him. Yeah! You can hear the music goes out of tune, that's deliberate because that guy's nicked your instrument. So anyway, that was jamming. Right, this one's Poster Paster, or Poster Paster I should say. Again, it's a game I never ever played back in the day. I always thought the graphics looked excellent. Like I was talking about earlier on, you can see, you know, that their background was in arcade games. Very arcade-like. Now the idea behind this game is to allegedly, you know, stick posters onto the billboard. Can't quite, that bollocks, I've just been killed. Looks like you're getting chased with a teapot, a killer teapot, and I don't know what the hell that is, the other thing. But you can shoot paint at it, or shoot paint at them to kind of kill them. But what you want to try and do is get over and pick up a poster. It's quite fiddly actually. How did I get the poster? I was watching a demo earlier on of this game getting played. I can't seem to pick up a poster. Come on, how do I pick it up? No, oh, there we go, I've got it. Right, so now what I want to try and do... Ow, arse! You then want to try and stick the poster onto the billboard. So I need to... How do you know where to stick it to? I've got no idea. Right, I've no idea how I'm managing to pick up the poster. It seems to be completely random. Right, about there maybe. That looks good. Ah, bollocks. Right, I don't know. Absolutely no idea how you stick a poster up. I'm assuming it's got to be perfectly aligned, I'm not too sure. Even try to pick up one of these things a bit random. Right, that looks good. Oh, arse. I give up. Right, that was Poster Paster. Right, this is Seaside Special, named after the popular Saturday night variety thing that used to be on the TV back in the 80s. Now, I've never played this game before. Again, it's another one of these ones that I always saw the adverts for, and I always thought it looked interesting. But right now, I have got absolutely no idea what I'm trying to do here. Now it looks like there's somebody wearing a pair of roller skates is trying to shoot me with a gun. Is that me dead? And there's also a killer jellyfish chasing me, I think. Now I don't know what's that up the top there. That looks like some kind of poison. Well, it's flashing away, whatever it is. Is it radiation or something? The sea, instead of looking blue, is black. I've got absolutely no idea at all what I'm doing here. pressing fire button seems to have absolutely no effect. It's quite impressive the water, the way the water comes in. I like that with the sort of sound effects. But that is about it. There doesn't appear to be anything to actually pick up. Now I know this game didn't review particularly well. You know, it wasn't really deemed a good game. I've got absolutely no concept at all, no idea what I'm going to be doing here. Nope, so I can't really comment too much. Seaweed, life's radiation. So yeah, you got radiation down the bottom right hand side. Seaweed, it says 0. Nope, completely lost on me. That's Seaside Special. That's bollocks. Right, this is a slight sort of different game from Taskset. This is actually, well, you can see there, it's a text adventure with graphics called Souls of Darkon. No, I wasn't a fan of these games at all. What's it saying? As you approach a standing stone, you see that it towers over the close to the carved altar. You can go north, south, or east. Okay. Right, take droid. You can't get that. Try looking. Oh, bollocks. Look at droid. You can see a mace, a helmet. You can go south or east. Okay, that's... Graphics are quite nice. I mean, it's kind of done in a higher resolution, and it's very, very quick. I mean, I don't know if anyone's old enough to remember the Hobbit computer. It's not the Hobbit computer, the Hobbit graphic adventure. That and Twin Kingdom Valley. It used to take ages to actually draw the picture, but this just draws it instantly. Possibly because it's only got 2 colours, I don't know, but the computer follows you to the crystal fountain. Yeah, there was a certain type of person enjoyed these kind of games, but this wasn't really my sort of thing. It did, I was looking at some reviews, and it does seem to be quite well thought of by those that enjoy this sort of thing. There's a man near the fountain. You can go south or east. Talk to man. I can't accept that. So this is what annoyed me with these games. I just gave up. It wasn't long before you typed in fuck off. I mean, that's just what happened. Examine man, here's a guide. Talk to guide, try something different. I just lose the will to live for these games. I've not got the patience. I think if you figured out the sort of the words you could type in, then it may help. Give up with that. Anyway, that's Souls of Darkon. Now, I've saved the best to last, and I literally mean that. This is Super Pipeline. This is the first one released on the C64. This is an absolute classic game. Fantastic game. Now, the idea with this game is you've got to try and keep the pipeline free of any objects or leaks. Now you've got these little baddies, you've got fleas there, you've got little men that will run up the ladder, and they will endeavour to knock down these sort of nail things at the top into the pipe, and once that gets into the pipe, you'll see here the guy at the top is going to knock one down. It will block the pipe like so. So what you need to do is you need to lead your little worker guy to the blockage, and he will then hammer the blockage free. Now the secret to this game is to basically find somewhere in the pipe where you can just stop the baddies getting on the pipe. Once the water gets to 1000, it's the next level. Now you can tell this is a very, very arcadey type game, so you know you can you can really see how the guys that made these games had their roots in the arcade industry. As I mentioned earlier on, the music in all these games is very, very short and quite repetitive. But I don't know what it is, they just seem to pick music that didn't get on your tits. In fact, I think the music adds a massive part to this game. It's really fast paced, it's jolly, it just kind of makes you want to play the game. Graphics are very simple, but they're functioning, you know. There's a lobster, you cannot shoot him in the face, you've got to shoot him up the backside. So what you need to do is manoeuvre away from him, and then once he goes up, you can run up. Ah, bollocks, too slow. Anyway, managed to complete that level. You get a little cartoon sequence every 2 levels. Now I did actually, the one coming up after this is Pipeline 2. I did actually look at all the home versions available, which I'll put a link to once we actually start looking at that video, or that particular game I should say. Now that wee flea, he just falls down and he'll basically run about the pipe trying to kill you or your little co-worker. They don't block the pipe at all, they just kill you. Just, like that's not a big thing. This would have made an excellent actual arcade game. A proper arcade game. So I need to avoid the lobster. Ah, there we go. Right, that was the first one, Super Pipeline, and this is the sequel, Super Pipeline 2. Now I did, as I said, take a look at all the home versions of this. I think it was last week actually, so the link is just above. You can click on that if you want to see the Spectrum and Amstrad versions. Now this one just does things that bit better. It improves the graphics, the baddies are better defined, everything just looks that bit nicer. This one you've got power tools that wander about the level, and if you let them wander about too long they will penetrate the pipe, causing a hole in all the water to basically push out on the floor. Now this one you get a wee sequence between every level. Now I've got to say guys, I've not really noticed it quite so badly, but the software I use to render my videos, for some reason it doesn't, the games look that wee bit jerky when they're getting played back. They do play better than, you know, on proper hardware or even an emulator which I use for making the videos. So this doesn't do the game justice. It does look a wee bit kind of jerky, but it gives you a good idea of what the game's about. But this was absolutely Taskset's finest hour. The first few games weren't the greatest. In fact, I would probably say that they made as many bad games as they did good games. I mean, Bozo's Night Out was pretty limited. Cosmic Cruiser, whatever it's called, wasn't the greatest. Seaside Special was a lot of bollocks. Didn't have a clue what was doing with that one, but I do know that it didn't review particularly well. Poster Paster, if I'd figured out how to actually stick the wallpaper or stick the poster, I might have enjoyed that a wee bit more. But Super Pipeline is a fantastic game, and this one's even better. If you've never ever played these games, I honestly cannot recommend enough that you go and check it out. Yeah, it's just a pity this game is playing really jerkily. Don't know why that is. You'll notice in this one as well, you've got 2 little co-workers rather than just one. And what they'll do is they'll just walk about the pipe until they meet you, then they stop. But they won't kill anybody. They can get killed when they're wandering about. When a baddie hits them, they just fall off the pipe. Then they run from right to left, and then they reappear in the pipe again.
but they won't fix blockages or anything like that at all unless you're with them. You've got to actually take them to the blockage to unblock it. You see there, we've now got 2 barrels to fill up. It's one of these games you can either have a really nice clear kind of run at it, you're just keeping all the baddies at bay, like I seem to be doing so far, and then other times you start getting lots of blockages and leaks and it just gets pandemonium. But I think the music of this game really adds to the atmosphere. Excellent. So that's it, guys. That is another They Did What wrapping itself up. If there's any company you want to see featured, please just put your comments below. And as usual, guys, thank you very much for watching.